How's it going, guys, and welcome to this live showdown between the Vampire Counts and the Skaven. In this match, we're actually going to be using Vlad as our Lord, and I definitely wanted to try out a more ground-focused Lord, because oftentimes the Skaven will bring a Warlock Engineer with the Howling Warp Gale, and then your Flying Lord is going to be getting hit with like Globadiers and Warp Lightning Cannons, and things like that. Granted, I still think the Dragon is very powerful. It does have the ability to shut down Doom Wheels, and, has a lot of other bonuses, but I just wanted to try something a little bit different, and just in case he does go with the double or triple Doom Wheel, and Doom Wheels aren't the best against the Vampire Counts, but still, if there's like, what are those things called? The Hell Pit Abominations or other large threats, I still do have two Terror Guys up in the air, so we should be okay. So Vlad's going to be in the front line, and another thing that I thought was pretty cool about Vlad is he does have that Aura of Dark Grandeur. So it gives -4 leadership, which might not seem like a lot, but against this Skaven, all of your units already have fear. So the zombies are going to be imbuing fear, which is, I think, like 4 or 5 leadership of a penalty. On top of the Aura of Dark Grandeur, their base penalty or their base leadership is going to be somewhat low in the beginning of the fight. So we do have more skeletons in the secondary line. I figure we don't really need like elite infantry to deal with the Skaven, so we're going to be having skeletons and zombies do most of our fighting. And then in the third line, we do of course have our Grave Guard, who are our serious contenders here. On top of that, we do have two groups of Black Knights. So the Black Knights are going to be cycle charging and getting some good pressure. One of them is going to be the Varix Reavers, the Regiment Renown. We got two Terror Guys up here, so we're going to go get some pretty sweet Death Reeks, and we got some Fellbats. So the Fellbats I just really wanted to use to shut down artillery, so if he has like a Warp Lightning Cannon or like Globadiers, we can like jump on those guys and hopefully keep them from firing like during very important points of the battle. Great, so I think everyone's ready, and good luck to my opponent. Let's have some fun. Alright, so it looks like he does have a very wide army. It looks like he has some Rat Ogres. He does, of course, have the Plague Furnace, which is always fun. Double Plague Furnace. So this is something I've been running into quite a bit on ladder. I do think it's very competitive. It's pretty hard to deal with for sure, but he doesn't have any great targets. On top of that, he does also have a Doom Wheel, so there's going to be a lot of threats to shut down, but thankfully we just have so many fodder units that hopefully we can do well for ourselves. And it looks like there are going to be some Night Runners here, so let's see if we can... Are those... Yeah, those are actually Gutter Runners. Okay. So we can go ahead and get some Shriek attacks on those guys, see if we can kind of shut it down. And let's go ahead and just fly our bats like overhead. And does he... Okay, so that's the scale. We can actually just chase him here, and then these guys can go ahead and just fly overhead here. We're going to get the Howling Warp Gale cast on us, but right now it really isn't a big deal. He doesn't have any like heavy hitting like units that can really punish us here. So we're actually just going to go ahead and move forward, and let's get these Cav going up and around, just kind of running into these Skaven slaves. And these ones over here can go ahead and block down that Doom Wheel, and they should be able to hold it down for quite some time. So Vlad's going to be advancing in the front line. We can go ahead and pop this to kind of break the charge of these two units. And these guys are back online, which is great. So now we can go after his Lord with one, and the other one is actually going to be going after the Doom Wheel over here. So in the meantime, we're just chasing those guys off in the back, and Vlad and company are fighting in the front line. It should do pretty well for us. We do get that nice little cast off, and we have the Grave Guard coming in, and the Black Knights on the far side, let's see how they're doing. So they got a nice charge, so let's pull back and get another charge. Over here, this guy's in a little bit of trouble. We do have this Terror Geist here, so we should be able to... Yeah, we can actually probably disengage. That's going to be good. Great, so the other one is going to be fighting his Lord, so we want to keep pursuing and just doing the best we can to shut that guy down. And we are taking a lot of damage on our zombies and things like that, but it's really not too big of a deal. I hate that like bug when you go to cast something and it like clicks off. So we get the cast, we're in pretty good shape there. The Plague Monks are fighting here. Our Terror Geist is trying to chase down his Lord, but of course he does have the Howling Warp Gale. And the Doom Wheel is starting to take a bit of a beating for sure. We need to make sure they're all focusing the appropriate target. And the Black Knights here, we can go ahead and have them just ramshackle into these Rat Ogres. And yeah, everything's going relatively to go. We do have the what's it called, this debuff right here. It's so long since I used Vlad. It's the Master of the Galma. So we're going to use that. We're going to also use the Invocation of Nehek in that mainline engagement. He does get a little bit of a storm right there on some zombies, but really it's not that big of a deal. So let's get these Varix Reavers back and just kind of keep the Terror Guys kind of engaged. We don't need too much, and this guy's actually free, so we can go ahead and use a cast right there on the Storm Vermin, which is going to be pretty strong. And Vlad and company are doing well. Definitely no complaints there. Let's summon some zombies in the back, have this guy go after his Lord again, so we're going to see if we can get that pressure on the Grey Seer. Looks like we might get another Howling Warp Gale cast on us, which is totally fine. And we can go ahead and get the bats going here, and the zombies going here as well to shut down that missile play. And the bounce power is pretty even at this point. He does have those, like, somewhat big, powerful units, and our Knights are back online, so we can actually just charge right into these Plague Monks and just keep this Terror Guys working on this Doom Wheel, which is going to be pretty great. And we don't have a breath attack up here at the moment, so no funny business coming there. So let's get Vlad over here and see if he can do a little something. We could summon some zombies. What are these? These are just Clan Rats. We'll summon some zombies on top of them. It should be fine. Great, so these Black Knights, let's go ahead and disengage them and see if we can get a bit of a charge. And we did do some decent damage to those Rat Ogres. Varix Reavers over here get a nice little charge on the Plague Monks, and this guy's now free, so let's see if we can actually get on this guy for once. And we'll check on our other Terror Guys to make sure he's doing his job. So it looks like the Doom Wheel is going to be getting away, so let's actually go ahead and chase it. Vlad and company are fighting the good fight here in the middle. We do have another Invocation of Nehek, so let's actually go ahead and pop that right here on this big blob of troops. And it looks like our Knights should be able to kind of help pin down that Doom Wheel on the far side. And let's see if he can just keep chasing this guy. Our next Invocation we're definitely going to be using on that Terror Geist. Okay, so far so good. So we're getting a little bit of a dent in his army. Again, he's doing very well. The Doom Wheel is pushed off there. We do manage to kill it, so that we can pull these guys over here now. We can get this Terror Geist going after his Lord. And honestly, if we can just get the two Terror Geist like going after that like altar, I think we might be able to do pretty well. So I think we need to save up the Invocation right now to go after that. Looks like, you know, that Plague Furnace is going to be pushing back Vlad, so I guess that's one of the perceived advantages of the bigger Lords. And the Knights and everyone in here having a good time, but still he does have Stormvermin, gets a pretty nice little Scorch attack right there on us. And how are we doing on Winds of Magic? We're doing okay. So let's get these 2 Terror guys, make sure to keep chasing his Lord down, because Skaven without a Lord are definitely a faction that's going to struggle quite a bit. So we're just going to aggressively chase, and he can actually cast that Howling Warp Gale on us while we're on the ground, which is a little bit of some funny business if you ask me. So we do have the ring here, the Karstein ring. I don't think we need to use that yet. And the Invocation of Nehek, we can go ahead and cast that on, you know, the somewhat beat up Terror guys who is taking quite a bit of damage right now. And his Lord is going to be scurrying away here. And how are we doing? We do have some Black Knights, so let's actually go ahead and just charge them into the back of these Plague Monks to hopefully be able to free these guys up. And it looks like we are free. So we're going to pull up in there and go after his Lord again. And I'm tempted to pull one of them and go after the other Lord, but I think Vlad's like doing okay over there. And we do have a zombie summon, so we could summon that right on top of some of these gutter runners, and we can use this ability to kind of shut down the play from these rat ogres. And this guy can go ahead and go over here, and good. We're about to get on his Lord there. This guy can get up in the air and use a breath attack, so we're going to use that right on these Plague Monks right here, which should be pretty strong. And Vlad, let's get him pushing over there. This guy needs to fight. You need to attack the right target. Nope. Do it. Kill him. So very close fight so far against this Plague Furnace shenanigans. We do get that good breath attack there. Let's see if we can get another charge right there. And the Terrorgeist is putting in some pretty heavy lifting here. And honestly, if we can like take an angle of pursuit here, I think that could be pretty strong. Let's take that angle, go ahead and jump down on him right there. The Stern's been continuing to fight the good fight, and his Lord and leadership is a little bit tattered. So if we can kind of somehow get this guy down, I think we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Vlad can kind of chase over here as well. We do have a zombie summon to help bolster our main line here. The Black Knights are surrounded by Plague Monks and other troops like that, but our Skeleton Warriors are doing pretty well. Let's go ahead and kind of pat these guys in, see if we can get that good fight going. And is there any way we can push out here? It looks like we are indeed caught in that Howling Warp Gale, and I think we go ahead and use an Invocation of Nehek on this one group, and we can have these guys help Vlad help out against the Stormvermin. So we're going to pull back through this way. So let's pull away from the Stormvermin. That's definitely the first thing you want to do. We still do have that ring, so let's get Vlad fighting there. We have a lot more troops coming in, and yes, if we can get up in the air, I think we'll be okay. So let's push up and through and see if we can then path through onto this guy, and it looks like one of them is going to get up now. And oh no, they're just pushing through. Okay, so they're not going to fly, but that's okay. As long as we can take him down, I'm not worried about the other furnace, because Vlad is going to be very, very tough to kill. And we do get that down, which is huge. And now you can see for the the first time in the battle, the bounce power is going to be in our favor. So let's get these guys in the rat ogres. This guy can go right here. And we do have a breath attack, which could be pretty strong against all these Stormvermin. So let's pop that. Vlad's going to be very, very tanky to kill. The rat ogres are pushed offline, so from here we can go ahead and just start clipping the wings of his formation, checking for troops we have on the outskirts, and I think that's going to be it. The bounce power is starting to come into our favor. Oh no, I misclicked. So I clicked a little bit over on the far side. I actually meant to go on the Plague Monks there, but it's okay. We get a little bit of damage nonetheless. So the Terror guys can probably just start working on the Plague Priest right there. Everything else is probably going to get Terror routed off. I really think that's going to be it, especially with having some Skeletons and Graveguard and other troops come back here in the battlefield. And I think that's going to be army losses for my opponent. He does get terrified here with his other Plague Furnace. And this is a build I've been seeing a ton from Skaven, and it's real nasty. So he's saying something. So oh, that was actually me earlier talking, but yeah. So it's nasty. The double Plague Furnaces can be really tough to deal with. I mean, it's a double Mortis Engine type effect. It's just, yeah, it's pretty good. Like, I don't know. The one thing, I don't like the Doom Wheel too much in this matchup. I feel like, one of its big strengths is the Terror routing. Granted, it's still, like, Doom Wheels can honestly beat, like, a lot of Cav one-on-one. It's pretty ridiculous how that usually goes. Let's screen those guys out here. Keep chasing him down. We definitely need to put some pressure on him. And do we have any more breath attacks? We could go after these Gutter Runners, but I think we just chase the Gutter Runners with, our Skeletons and fodder units and whatnot. But we have to make sure to kill this guy, because if we kill this guy, it should trigger army losses, and from there we shouldn't have to worry about, chasing down any of these filthy rats. So our Skeletons are going to waddle through the swamp and hopefully be able to catch those guys. And a Mortis Engine might have actually been okay, like, had I known he was going double Furnace, now that I think about it. And it looks like this guy should be going down. He's got about 300 HP. Thankfully, these things are somewhat slow. I think they, like, have a base speed of, like, 45 or something like that. Yeah, our troops are chasing these guys down. He does have some rallying troops on the far side, so yeah. Okay, we shattered that guy. That's good. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So let's go ahead and pull over, kind of reform ranks. We can go ahead and get a breath attack here. Vlad can easily deal with these guys, probably. So, man, that's a lot of Skaven left over there. That's kind of nasty, like. That's right, let's go ahead and waddle over there. Vlad's going to go ahead and he can... Are these guys out of ammunition? They are. So we can go ahead and actually have Vlad take that fight and just have these guys kind of, polish things off over here. So let's use this breath attack on these Plague Monks. Let's have the other one do a bit of a rear charge, which should be fine. And VLADY Daddy's good. He's just going to summon some zombies on top of himself. He can pop the Karstein Ring, which is going to give him a 90% ward save. Now we can do a rear charge on these guys. And, yeah, pretty good. So the Karstein Ring is nice. It does give you 90% damage resist. We can also use the Master of Beguilement right there to kind of shut those guys down. We are able to buckle the last of the Skaven troops here. There is some, I think, just some clan rats over there on the far side. Looks like everything's going to be going to army losses at this point. So well played to my opponent. That was a very, very close game. And I definitely think that's a pretty competitive Skaven build he's using. It gets pretty nasty, I mean, because you're getting a free Scorch on each of those, which is very good against, like, undead fodder units. I mean, Rat Ogres, Doom Wheels, just all kinds of shenanigans going on. So maybe a couple more groups of Stormbringer, but really I can't criticize his build at all. It was a very, very close game. So very well played to my opponent, Grumpy Turtle. Look forward to running into you again on ladder, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this Vampire Count Showdown. It's good to see Uncle VLADY Daddy back in action. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.